Welcome back to Pilates by Brianna. Today's workout will be our usual 30 to 35 minutes. It'll be more intermediate level. We will be using the box and also some hand weights. I have 3-pound weights. We're going to start using them with footwork. Anywhere from 1 to 5 pounds, depending on how heavy you want to go. This will be a little bit more of an athletic workout. So I'm starting with footwork. I have on a little bit heavier springs. I have on 3 heavy red, 1 medium blue, and then my light spring is also on. So go ahead and grab your weights, have the box nearby, and let's get started. Grab your pair of hand weights and come to lay on your back. We will have the headrest down as we are starting with bridges. Heels on the bar, weight in each hand, and they're going to go right by your hip bone. Find your neutral pelvis, and then when you're ready, begin tucking the tailbone underneath you as you begin peeling the back up off the carriage. Inhale at the top, exhale to engage the core even more, and roll back down. We'll do about 5 more here. Exhale on your way up, inhale at the top, exhale to roll on down. 1 vertebrae at a time, getting our pelvis moving, getting our legs warmed up, and some movement in the core as well. We'll make this one the last one. Inhale at the top, exhale to roll on down. Heels will stay on the bar, feet are dorsiflexed or pointed towards you, elbows bent and by your side. As you press out, the arms will shoot up overhead, and then when the carriage comes back in, the arms will come down. So we're doing a chest press as you press the carriage out, and then the arms will come back in as the carriage also comes back in. Last time out and in. And then bring the toes onto the bar, high heel position. Start with the arms overhead and press out. Now as you bring the carriage in, the elbows will bend, and as you press out, you're coming into a tricep press. So when the carriage is in, elbows will bend, and when you press out, you'll straighten the arms up overhead. So working the triceps, shoulder stabilizers, and you'll feel this a little bit more into the quads with the toes on the bar as compared to the heels. Last time out and in. And then we're going to repeat those arm movements, but now we'll bring the heels back on the bar in a Pilates V. So heels together, toes apart. As you press out, arms will shoot up overhead. And as the carriage comes in, the upper arm will drop back down to the carriage. We're going for 10. One more to go. And then when the carriage is in, we'll bring the toes back to the bar, still in your Pilates V. Knees are in line with the shoulders for triceps. So press out, straighten up the arms. And then as you bring the carriage in, the elbows will bend. And as you press out, the arms will straighten overhead for our tricep press. Heels together, toes apart, maintaining that heel connection the entire time. And pelvis is in neutral. Last one here. And bring the carriage all the way in, arms down. Heels will go wide on the bar, hips are externally rotated, knees are wider than the shoulders. You're going to open up the arms, and then as you press out, you'll do like a fly. So as you press out, the arms will come together to touch. And then when you bring the carriage in, the arms will open back up, working our chest muscles. One more. And bring the carriage all the way in. Keep the arms down at your side. You'll put the toes on the bar. Press out, stay out for heel raises. Both heels will lower, both heels will lift. Working our calves here. Trying to get the heels as low under the bar as you can. You might feel a little stretch in the calf, and then you're raising them as high up as you can. Next time the heels are elevated, pause. Bend the left knee, right heel will drop underneath the bar for a stretch throughout that right calf. We're hanging out here for a few breaths. And then go ahead and switch. Bend the right knee and the left heel will drop, feeling a stretch through the left calf. Bend the knees and bring the carriage all the way in. Come off to one side. I'm putting my weights on the platform. We're done with them for a little bit. And I'm taking off all my springs except for one heavy red and one light yellow. So I have a heavy and a light spring on. And then I'm going to come to sit on the foot bar. I'm pressing the carriage out a little bit with my right heel on the carriage, and my left foot will go on the ground. And then I'm pressing the carriage all the way out using the quads of my right leg and controlling it back in. Sitting up nice and tall, spine is straight. That one more time, and then come halfway in for pulses, bringing the carriage out an inch and then back in an inch. Nice repetitions here. Almost there. And then press all the way out and bring it on in. Switch feet. Left heel will go on the edge of the carriage and the right foot is on the ground, and begin pressing the carriage out and in here using the front of that left leg. Last time pressing out, then come halfway in for those pulses. Another round of pulses, thinking of using the quad muscles. Check in with your posture. You're sitting up tall, reaching through the crown of the head. Chin is level with the ground. Press all the way out, bring the carriage on in. Come on off. I'm taking off my yellow spring, so I'm left with one heavy red. I'm taking the straps off of the pegs and putting them behind the reformer out of the way. Pick up your box and put it on the frame of the reformer towards the risers. And then very carefully come to step into the well, sit on the box, put the right heel on the shoulder block and the left foot will go on the frame, and we'll do a hamstring curl. I have my hands behind me so I can sit up nice and tall. You're bring the carriage in towards you using the right hamstrings, the back of the right thigh, and then controlling it back out. Left foot is on the frame, just kind of out of the way. Then pull the carriage halfway out and do your pulses here, using the back of that right leg to bring the carriage towards you an inch and then release an inch. Try not to bounce the carriage, trying really hard to maintain that control. And then let it all the way out and we'll switch. Left heel will go on the shoulder block, right foot on the frame, and begin curling in with that left leg and then controlling it back out. Bring the carriage halfway in and you have your pulses here. Almost there, sitting up tall. And then bring the carriage all the way back into the stopper. Step into the well, put your hands on the carriage and round your spine, lean back so that way the hips are over the feet. And we're kind of in a down dog position for a little stretch through the hamstrings. And then you can roll all the way up, carefully step out of the well, and put the short box on the carriage. We're going to put on one light yellow spring, take off the one heavy red. I'm coming around to the opposite side of the reformer. You're going to have your right foot by the foot bar externally rotated. The left knee will go on the carriage next to the box. You're going to bend into that right knee as you press the carriage out, and then think of using the inner thighs to draw the carriage back in. So it's on that light spring, so it's very easy to push it out. More of the work is using the inner thighs to control it back in. And make sure you're bending into that right knee as you press out. You're sinking as deeply into this squat position as you feel comfortable, and this is the last one here. And bring the carriage all the way in. You're going to come to sit on the foot bar again. I'm putting my feet up against the box. Hands are on the bar. Press out. For tricep dips, you have the option of being in a bent knee or straight leg. So straight leg will be a little bit more challenging. And then you're going to bend the elbows to lower the hips down towards the well and use the triceps to control it back up. Try not to let the carriage move too much. Try to keep it nice and steady. We'll go for 10 here. Last one. Carefully bring the carriage all the way in. You're going to do a quarter turn towards your left. And we've got that squat variation on the other side. So right knee up against the box, the left foot in front of the reformer, foot is rotated out. You're bending into the left knee as you press the carriage out into that squat position. And then use your inner thighs to pull everything back in. Last one here. Bring the carriage all the way in. Good work. Come to sit on the box. This next set will be alternating between squats and planks. So you're going to have the heels halfway up the box. Hands will go on the bar. Knees are bent, hips are low, spine is straight. Press the carriage out to plank, and we're going to hold it for about 5 seconds we're going for. So a nice isometric contraction, and then bend the knees in. Sit your hips back, not on the box. Try to keep them hovering. You're off the foot bar and you're holding the squat position. Hands will go back to the bar, press out for plank. You're holding again here for about 5 seconds. Bend the knees in. Find your squat. Hands can come to the chest or stay on the bar for balance. You should feel the quads burning here. Hands back to the bar, press out to plank. We've got our 5-second hold. Bend the knees in, sit back, spine is straight, 5-second hold in our squat. We have 2 more rounds through. Hands to bar, press out to plank. Bend the knees in, find your squat. Sit a little lower if you can. We just have 1 more time after this. Hands to bar, press out to plank. Bring the carriage in, find your squat. This is the last squat. How low can you go? And then nice and controlled, come all the way down to sit on the box. Once you're all the way sitting, we're going to make a few changes. I'm putting on a few more springs just to keep my carriage still. I'm finding my safety strap to put my feet through and picking up my weights. While I'm here, I'm also going to lower my foot bar as low as it can go before going all the way flat. So it's still raised a little bit. That's for later. Pick up your weights. Hands will go behind your head. And we'll do roll backs. Find your C curve. Begin rolling back over the box. pause, and then control it back up. You can also have your hands at your sternum if this does not feel comfortable here. Feet are dorsiflexed into the strap. You're pressing the heel into the platform, so that way we take out our hip flexors. We want this to be all core. One more here. And bring the carriage all the way up. Release the hands. We're going to do our hinge back with a few variations. Option 1 would be arms stay out in front, one arm goes overhead, second arm, and then bring it back in. Option 2, as you lean back, you'll pause both hands to overhead, back down, and come back in. Option 3, hinge back, both arms overhead. Keep the arms overhead as you come back up, and then the arms are lower. So pick your variation, and we've got 5 of them. So you're hinging back, spine is nice and straight, whatever arm variation you took, and then come back up. You're only going as far back as you can, keeping that hinge. If you feel yourself falling into that C curve, then you've gone a little bit too far. Last one here. Keeping the spine straight, come all the way up, rest down the arms. You can shake out the shoulders if you would like, and then we're going to work into our obliques a bit more. Hands will come to your sternum, scoop and roll back, pause. Reach across your stomach and punch out to one side, come back to center, and rotate in the opposite direction. Really try to get into that rotation, that twist. That's where the obliques are going to fire. Nice, slow, and controlled. You're staying in that roll back position the entire time. We're going for about 5 on each side, so let's do one more to each side, and then come all the way back up. Place the weights down in front of the box, and we'll go into the 100. Scoop, roll back here, and begin pumping the arms. We're going to do a steady inhale, steady exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last inhale. And last exhale. And then you can come all the way up. Good work. Round over your legs. Just get a little release in the low back. And then you can roll all the way up. Bring your feet out of the straps and come on off the box. I'm putting the box next to my carriage. And then I'm lowering, I'm going to put on one medium blue spring and take off all the other springs. We're going to come into lunges. So you'll have one foot up on the box. You're facing the foot bar. The opposite leg will be against the shoulder blocks. Hands will stay at your chest to start. You're going to straighten out the carriage leg, bend into the box knee to bring the carriage back, and then use the glute of the box leg to bring the carriage all the way back in. Two more, and then we'll start adding in some arms. This last time when you lunge back, stay here. Hinge forward, arms will go overhead. As you bend the carriage knee in, the elbows will bend, and as you press the carriage leg out, the arms will shoot overhead. So we're doing an overhead press with that lunge hold and bending the carriage knee in and out. Nice isometric leg, or a nice isometric hold into that box leg. So you should really feel the leg on the box working hard. Last one, and then bring the carriage all the way in. You're going to press out again, bend into that front leg. Arms will come in front of you, we'll do hug a tree with the arms, and with the box leg, you're going to straighten out that knee to push the carriage back. And then as you bend the knee, you'll bring the hands back together. The carriage leg is staying straight the entire time, so it's that box leg moving the carriage out and in. Nice and strong through the arms. A hug a tree position. 2 more here. Last one. And then when the arms are back into the chest, sink deeper into that lunge for little pulses, bending that box leg a little bit more, down an inch, up an inch, really getting that burn in the legs. Almost there. And then come all the way up, bring the carriage in. Step off the box, put the weight on the platforms, and then push the box up a few inches, so closer to the risers. You're going to come to have one hand on the shoulder block, and that foot of the same side will be on the foot bar. And then the opposite hand and knee will be on the box. You're pressing out and in against the shoulder blocks. So my left hand is on the shoulder block, so I'm using my left hand to press the carriage out and in. Keeping the spine nice and straight, head is in line with the spine, and you're putting some pressure into the bar. I have my toes against the bar. Next time you press out, you're going to hold it out, keep pressure into the bar. You're going to lift your box leg up and lower it down. So we're using the glute of that. For me, it's my right leg to lift that leg into a hip extension. You're holding this plank position, strong through both arms. You have a bit more support than you realize in this position. To come out of it, you'll bend the knee, the right knee, place it on the box, and then bring the carriage in. Bring the box around to the other side, placing it next to the carriage. Find your weights, and we have the lunge set. So you'll come to stand up on the box, facing the foot bar. One foot will be against the shoulder blocks. We'll start with the hands at our sternum. The back knee is straight. You're going to lunge into that front leg, and then use the glute of that front leg to bring the carriage on in. We've got 10. This next time you'll press into your lunge, stay there, hinge forward, arms overhead. As you bend in the knee, elbows will come towards your shoulders, and then punch back up overhead. So we're doing an overhead press, we're staying in our lunge, and you're bending and straightening the back knee to move the carriage. 2 more. Last one. And then bring the carriage all the way in. Hands are at our sternum. Press back into your lunge. You're going to open up the arms as you straighten out the front leg to move the carriage back. And then as you bend the knee, the hands will come back to your sternum. So we're kind of doing a hug a tree position with the weights, and we're moving the carriage with our front leg, bending the knee and straightening the knee. Last one. And then you're going to sink a little bit deeper in your lunges, and you've got your pulses here, nice and controlled pulses, lowering into that lunge and then lifting it an inch or 2. And then bring the carriage all the way in. Carefully step on off the box. We are done with the weights. And we just have one more thing before we start our cool down. So you're going to move the box a few inches towards the risers. Come to kneel on the box. You'll have one hand on the shoulder block. The leg of that same side, the toes will be on the bar. And begin pressing out and in here, keeping the spine nice and straight. Try not to let your head hang. Try to keep it in line with your spine. Next time you press out, you're going to hold it out, come find your plank position, the box leg will lift, and then you're lowering that leg down towards the floor and then using our glutes to raise it back up. So a little bit of hip extension. Don't let your back arch either direction, up or down. Strong through the core. We've got 10 of our lifts. You're pushing into the bar, strong throughout your whole body. And then to come out of it, you'll bring the left knee back down to the box, bring the carriage in, and come all the way up. Move your box out of the way. Go ahead and find your straps, place it on the pegs. We are still on that one medium blue spring. Come to kneel on the carriage, feet up against the shoulder blocks. Bring the foot bar back up. Hands will go on the bar. Press out, keeping the hips over the knees, and just sink down towards the well, getting a nice stretch through the shoulders. So a puppy dog pose in yoga, but we're doing it on the reformer. Bring the carriage in. Bring your knees a little bit closer to the edge of the carriage. Bring the big toes together, knees out wide. Your elbows will go on the bar. You can press out a little bit. Bend the elbows, hands will go behind your head in a prayer position for a stretch again through the shoulders and the triceps. And if you like the pants I'm wearing, I will have a link to them in the description of this workout with a referral code as well for a little discount for you. Okay, you can come all the way up. I'm putting on 2 heavy red springs and taking off my medium blue, but you can also do a heavy and a red instead. And we will come into footwork, feet and straps. So come to lay on your back, pick up the straps and put the feet through the long loops. And we will start with frog, heels together, toes apart, knees in line with the shoulders, knees are bent. Press out over the bar, straightening the legs, zipping up through the inner thighs, and then bend the knees back in towards the chest. And we'll do a few here, kind of slowing down our heart rates and cooling down our bodies. Next time you press out, stay out, open the legs out wide, leading with the toes, and then use the inner thighs to bring the legs together, and the heels will come together. So toes will lead going out, heels will lead coming back in, working the inner thighs. Last one here. And then when the legs are together, you'll pause. You're going to bend one knee, the opposite leg will come up to overhead, and then you'll press out on the diagonal and switch. So we're going into walking. You'll bend one knee in, the other one will stay straight. You'll feel tension on the straight leg. Try to use the straight leg to lower the legs back down over the bar. One more to each side. And then when both legs are straight, keep them straight as you bring them up through center, circle them around, away from each other and down. Once they find each other, you'll come back up again through center. So we have our big hip circles here. Just getting some movement in the hip joint. We did a lot of leg strengthening today, so we want to make sure we cool them down. One more time around. And then when the legs are overhead, we'll pause and reverse. Keep them together as you lower them down through center, circle away from each other, around and up. They'll find each other and then lower them back down. So just reverse directions of those hip circles. One more time around. And then when the legs are back overhead, pause. Open the legs out wide for an inner thigh stretch. Option to grab hold onto the tapes and gently rock side to side if you would like. And then find stillness, bring the legs back together, bend the left knee, feel a stretch throughout the back of the right leg for a hamstring stretch. And then go ahead and switch, bend the right knee, left leg will straighten overhead. This is the last thing for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know of any other workouts you would like. You can take your feet out of the straps. Come on up. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to work out with you soon.